Yes, so welcome dear all. So dear students, today we will be discussing another important question. The question is, what is contract costing and how the profits on incomplete contracts are treated in cost accounts. So first of all, let us discuss what is contract costing. Contract costing is a specific order costing. Now, when I say specific order, it means that it is applied where the work is to be performed as per the requirement of the customer. So there are two parties. One party is contractor. The contractor, for a contract price, that is for a consideration, he will carry out the work as per the customer's specification. Now customer over here is contractee. So whatever customer or the contractee wants as per his requirement for a certain consideration, contractor will give his services and he will perform the particular task. So the agreement they enter into is the contract. The costing applied is contract costing. The consideration for which they agree in return of the services of the contractor of the work done, that is contract price. Now this contract can be for very long duration, which may extend even beyond one accounting year. It can be completed within less period of time also, that is less than one accounting period. Now the problem is, if the contract starts and finishes off within the same accounting period, so then whatever profit or loss which we will be calculating by the end of the year, that is going to be the actual profit. But in case when the account this contract is yet incomplete at the end of the year and it is continuing to the it is to be completed maybe the next year or the year after, so in that case we'll not be able to know the real profit of the contract. So in that case what is required is that we calculate notional profit and then apply certain formulas. On the basis of those formulas we'll be finding out that how much amount is to be transferred to the credit of profit and loss account. So once again let me just sum up what is contract costing. So I can say it is a special type of specific order costing, and as regard the time period, I can say it can extend to even more than one accounting period depending upon the task. uh, Whatever, this is the main factor which I am discussing now, that whatever cost incurred on the contract, a major proportion of it is direct cost and only a lesser proportion of it is considered as indirect cost. Because whatever, for example, materials, labor, even machinery, special or general plant. Special or general plant means special, which is let's say a crane, because we have to build a building which is having number of floors, so we need to have a crane at our site. So maybe a special plant we have asked for, we have ordered for that completion of the building, and it will be there till then. Or a general plant, that is a concrete mixture machine, that is general, that only when we need to do the uh, roof construction for the lender purposes we need that, and we'll be accordingly charging depreciation. So the major proportion constitutes the direct cost and only a lesser proportion it constitutes the indirect cost. And at the end of the year, if the contract is complete, then all the things are returned to stores, and if they are not, then they remain at site. So in during all these things, one thing which is being faced is that our cost control, that how to have a proper cost control. Now this thing can be done regarding by proper usage of the material, by proper usage of the tools or the machinery which are employed there on the contract. So what is the major difference between just to add on, what is this is not contract costing, is not job costing. Job costing is rather of a very shorter duration, and it can be completed either at the premises of the person whosoever is ordering, for example, plumbing task or a stitching task. If you go want to have stitch a particular suit, then you need to go to the tailor. So the in job costing, the work can be done anywhere and within the premises, out of the premises. But contract, mostly what where it has to, the person has to go to a site. Okay, so now we come up to the next part, that is how to account for the profits in case of an incomplete contract. So when we talk about computing, I'll be writing it on the board now, and accordingly please try to understand that here we will be taking up three sort of contract. The contract which have just started, nearly started. Then number two, those contracts which some progress has been made, and the third category is which are nearing completion. So when a question like this comes to you, you need to write down under all these three categories. The first category is the contracts which have just started. So when I say they have just started, so we can contracts which have just started. So this we are doing accounting under that, how to account for the profits in case of incomplete contract. So this is a contract which just started. Let's say our accounting period ends in March, and this contract was just started in January. So January to March, and it is still continuing after that also. So in this case, how we have to do? In this case, work done, we will be taking then amount to be transferred to profit and loss account. Let us make it like this. Just started. Just started. So in this case, let's say the work done is up to 25%. Now to help how to calculate this work done part. If I say how to calculate the percentage of work done, so work done is equal to work certified, we will be writing down value of work certified divided by contract price into 100. So we will be getting a percentage. So over here we are going to write the percentage, that is how much percentage work has been done. Now in this case, if the work percentage is done less than 25%, now in that case no amount is to be credited to P&L. If the work done is less than 25%, then no amount is to be transferred to P&L, rather the whole amount will be put as reserve in work in progress account. Transfer to work in progress account. Transfer whatever balance is there in the work in progress account. This is the first case. Now for the contracts in which certain progress has been made. Now when I say certain progress has been made, what to do over here? How much percentage of work done is to be taken? Where certain progress has been done. So in this case, if I am taking that it is less than 25% over here, so over here I will be taking up that is more than or equal to the 25%, and then we will be taking it up as, just see over here. In this again the percentage, how the percentage is to be calculated, we will be once again revising the formula. The formula is value of work certified divided by contract price. I repeat, value of work certified divided by contract price. Okay. So it is work done is more than equal to 25%, but less than 50%. So in this first case is more than equal to 25% but less than 50%. Now in that case the formula which we are going to use is notional profit, notional profit I discussed just now, into 1 divided by 3. This is a standard formula and we have to take it as like this only, into cash received divided by value of work certified, into value of work certified. So remember this thing. I repeat, notional profit into 1 by 3 into cash received divided by value of work certified. Now in the next case where certain progress has been made, this is the first case, and the second case is, you better is, in order to make a diagram you can put it over, this chart can be added. So the second case is, this is less than 50, so equal to more than 50%. Some even take it as that it is less than 90, more than equal to 50 but less than 90, or it is left it like this only because the same formula is applied there also. So more than 50%, take it like this. How much amount to be transferred to P&L? Formula is notional profit into 2 by 3 into cash received divided by value of work certified. So these are the two cases which we have done, where the contract just started and where certain progress was made. Now is the third category. The third category is where the contract is nearing completion, that it is almost complete. So now we will be writing down the third category. I am going to rub this board off now. So the contracts which are almost complete, in there are number of formulas. Contracts nearing completion, or the ones which are almost complete. You can write anything. Clear? Now as regard percentage, I told you the percentage can be more than 90%. Sometimes the question it gives us the hint that it gives the data, the concerned data, and from there also we come to know that we are doing the category of question that where the contract is almost complete. So in this case we can say, if we want to write it over here, so we can say that it is more than 90% to 99% complete. So almost this much is the percentage completion over here. Work done is this much. So now in that case, what are the formulas? What formulas we are going to do over here? There are numerous formulas, so I'll be writing down all over here. The first thing is, there are two methods. One is on the basis of estimated method and the other is on the basis of notional profit method. So on the basis of estimated profit. What is estimated profit? When we subtract estimated cost of completion from the total contract price, we get the estimated profit. I'll be writing down a note later on how to calculate estimated profit. So over here, just write down the formulas. Estimated profit into work certified divided by contract price. This is a formula. It can also be computed, that is amount transferred to the credit of P&L account can also be calculated by any of the formulas given over here. So first formula is estimated profit into work certified divided by contract price. Another is same formula, estimated profit into work certified divided by contract price into the thing which we used to write in the earlier formulas, that is cash received divided by value of work certified. Cash received divided by value of work certified. So there is one more formula, estimated profit into, this is on the basis of cost now. So estimated profit into, now cost up to date, cost of work up to date divided by cost of work up to date. divided by estimated total cost of the contract. Estimated total cost of the contract. And then the D formula is the same C formula. For example, A formula was like this, same tha, just to be added this in the next formula. So C formula is this. अब D formula जब हमने बनाना है अगला, again just multiplied the cash received divided by value of work certified into. That is what will be the formula then? Estimated profit into cost up to date divided by estimated total cost of the contract into cash received divided by value of work certified. So these were the formulas on the basis of estimated profit. Now on the basis of notional profit, the one which we did earlier when the work done was more than 50%. The same formula is to be written over here. So what was that formula? That formula was notional profit into 2/3 into, yes, cash received divided by value of work certified. So cash received divided by value of work certified. Now again and again one word is coming, that is, what is the word value of work certified? I would like to give you this information that contractor needs money, because the contract is going to go for a number of years, let's suppose, but contractor needs money in order to do the work. So contractee has to pay on the basis of that how much work has been done, how much work has been completed. So the architect or the surveyor of the contractee comes to the site before the end of the previous year and gives a certificate of completion. And in that the value is mentioned, that is the value of work certified, of the how much percentage of or how much is the work has been completed. So this value of work certified I am again and again mentioning over here. So these are the formulas. Now what students you are expected is that once, yes, one thing I had to write down the note of estimated profit. You can note it down. I am speaking. Estimated profit is equal to contract price minus estimated cost or total cost of contract. Contract price minus estimated total cost of the contract. Now what is estimated total cost of the contract equal to? Estimated total cost of the contract is equal to cost incurred on contract up to date plus estimated cost of completion plus provision for contingencies if any. So that's it of this question, and you are expected to write down numerical examples along in case this theory question comes. So all the best, have a nice day. Thank you dear all.